Welcome back to an all-new episode of Daphne's Detention. An 84-year-old mother vanished in the middle of the night, leaving behind a family in agony and a trail of digital shadows. With her phone, wallet, and life-saving heart medication still at home, every passing hour becomes a critical race against time. Investigators believe Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home in Arizona in the early hours of February 1st, 2026. The scene left more questions than answers, right? There was blood found on the porch, a doorbell camera disconnected at 1:47 a.m., not to mention the coincidence of the camera's subscription had ended. Did someone do this on purpose? Did they have a connection to the app that Nancy had for her doorbell camera? Did they end that subscription, or did it just coincidentally run out? You tell me. That is a main question that I have. Not to mention the blood found on the porch, right? That's wild in itself. And her pacemaker that ceased its digital heartbeat just minutes later. I want to welcome you to Daphne's Detention, where we analyze missing persons cases and dive deep into the patterns of crime. Today, we're looking at motive, means, and opportunity into the abduction of missing person Nancy Guthrie. I am your host, Daphne, and today we will be going over all of the breaking news and most updated information regarding this case. So stay tuned and please hit that subscribe button. We always update every day with different missing persons cases and bring to you the most recent information regarding these videos. So stay tuned. Now, I want to bring to you, there's something I want to show you. This is the flyer for Nancy, and we are going to go ahead and start digging deep into the information today. Now, a neighbor has come out and spoken. I want to bring that to you. I also want to go over the arrest of the fake ransom note, you guys. Wow. Well, it's just crazy. Also, Nancy's son has also come out and done a second video. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and get started on this new update from the neighbor. This just came out minutes ago. And let me bring you over to here. So this right here, it's Nancy Guthrie's neighbor, says she's very alarmed by the disappearance. Laura Gargano told the Associated Press she is very alarmed by the 84-year-old's apparent abduction. I just don't want to imagine what happened that night and what she might have felt that moment. So we're going to play this video, and I also want to dig deep into the daughter, Annie, right? We've heard alleged allegations that her vehicle had been taken and their home had been searched, her and her husband's. And then there's been rumors that the husband could be a prime suspect. We're going to dig into that. But first, let's get started with this most recent information. So this just came out from CNN. I'm going to blow it up here for you. Sounds up. Okay.
Well, I think everybody deals with it differently, and I've just been very alarmed over, not for my safety, to be honest. It's for Nancy. I went to the vigil last night, like a lot of people did, and I'm just don't want to imagine what happened that night and what she might have felt at that moment. I didn't know her well. I just knew her to say hello, and I had been to her house before, just about a year and a half ago. And she's a very sweet woman, very nice. Welcomed me right into her home. I'm on the neighborhood association board, so I introduced myself and told her why I was here, and that was it. And we chatted for a bit, and yeah, that's it. Not too much. I mean, I think most people are a little bit at this point, a little concerned. But I'm not overly concerned. But this is a very, very safe neighborhood. Generally, it's a very beautiful neighborhood, and I think most people haven't been overly concerned. I also have dogs. I would say that it would be not unlike most of us to ask people if we saw something. And I have before, when I've seen a trailer pull up to somebody's house and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I've asked, I've had 2 sets of detectives, sheriffs, actually deputies come by my house to check. I asked to check my cameras, which I did on Monday. Actually, I did Sunday night. But honestly, mine are more wildlife cams. So, so I saw a lot of bunnies and some coyotes, but that was about it. We have coyotes, we have bobcats, we have bunnies, we have javelina. I'm surprised you haven't seen any coming through here. It's very common to see all of those things. Packs of javelinas and coyotes, usually at dusk and dawn. You'll see them around here, and we're used to it. Most people like living among the animals, so we don't really worry about it too much. This is mainly making sure you don't leave your small dogs and cats outside.
Okay, great. So that is the recent update from the neighbor. Did you hear how she mentioned that there are basically, like, I'm just going to call them game cameras, right? And we heard that Nancy also had these, and they're not working, right? I heard they were smashed or not working. Now, I'm going to take a little closer look at this timeline with you guys, and then we're going to dig deep into the camera information. So Saturday, February 1st, approximately like within 3 minutes, the day began normal for Nancy around 5:30 p.m., right? She took an Uber from her home to her daughter's Annie Guthrie's home. And it's located about 30 minutes. But I've heard also that it's about 10 minutes away. And I want to go over something about that, because there's been talk that there's like it's around like 10 minutes. I want to show you a video of that real quick. Give me a second. So if you look here, this is actual footage from, you remove this one real quick, add this one. This will actually show you the drive from Nancy's home to her daughter's home. Give me a second. And just turn off the music there. See if I can make that bigger for you. There we go. It takes 11 minutes. I don't know why some are saying 30 minutes. Okay. And they show you like traffic in the area from Nancy's home to her daughter's. Set a few major intersections, a few stoplights. Many in the area have cameras that can help police, right? Look for whoever may have taken her. There's a short stretch down a main road with many businesses with cameras, it says. Suburbs north of Tucson have low crime, right? All right. Most of the route is residential with hilly and winding roads. This is a first-hand look from Nancy's house to her daughter's. Nancy Guthrie returned home after 9:30 from her dinner with her family. Sunset was around 5:30. So it was definitely dark outside. Yep, dark upon arrival, exactly. At night, there were a few lights due to local laws. Fines for light pollution can be hundreds or thousands of dollars in this area. What was waiting at her house is unknown. So I thought that was very interesting to go through. We're going to remove that. I'm going to bring up the timeline for you guys again, and we're just going to kind of go through this. So she proceeded with her dinner. They had dinner, right? And approximately 9:50, a family member dropped Nancy back off at her house. She entered through the garage door, and this has been confirmed by the investigations, right? Investigators. Her phone remained inside the home after this point. So we're going to move on. Late that evening, several key events occurred in relation to her home security systems. At 1:47 a.m. on Sunday, February 2nd, Nancy's doorbell camera disconnected completely, right? This camera was part of a standard home security setup like a Ring or similar device, which records and detects motion. Authorities noted that the disconnection could indicate tampering, but no cameras were reported as there was the one that had been taken off, right? So I also want to speak to you about something. So let's look at the doorbell camera. And this was very interesting to me. Give me 1 second. I want to pull this up for you. So the doorbell camera let me remove that and add it to stage here. So this is off of Nancy's doorbell camera. You can see where it's been removed and see where they tacked it on to the door. What gets me, guys, is like what I mentioned earlier, that the subscription had ended. Did it just end on its own, right? Or, I mean, it's only like $20 a year, the subscription. So why wouldn't she have the subscription? You know that this is just my speculation, but usually another family member will set up the subscription and the app on the person's phone if they're elderly or don't know technology that well. Now we know that Nancy knew technology for some of it, right? But we don't know if she knew how to set up the Ring camera or not. So I'm just speculating here that a family member or friend probably set it up for her. Now, you get emails. Did Nancy receive an email or notification that her subscription was going to end? I would really like to know that, because if it was abruptly canceled like a few days prior or that day, then that can give an indication of who maybe had taken her or been up to no good, right? So let's go back with the timeline. This is the most updated timeline, you guys. So at 2:12 a.m., the camera software detected a person. This is where we get into it detects a person. So let me explain this a little bit better. I did in yesterday's video, which I'll post up in the left-hand corner at the end. If you do not have a subscription, the camera is like a live feed, if you can kind of picture that. So it's a live feed. You still get notifications if someone's there, but it doesn't save that video if you're not paying for the subscription. And there's really no way of getting that video at all because you're not paying for it to go into the cloud, right? So nothing was saved at all. Nothing was preserved. The detection was based on like motion, right? And no visual recording at all. So it was working fine. There was just no cloud for it to go into. Now at 2:28 a.m., Nancy's pacemaker app disconnected from her phone through Bluetooth. The pacemaker is used to monitor her heart health, and this was disconnected, indicated she may have been separated from her phone or the device was powered off at this particular moment. Her phone was later found inside the home by investigators. So think about this. Did this person who took her, did they know that she had a pacemaker, or were they just powering down her phone? But think about it, right? If you're going to leave the phone behind, think about this for a minute. I want to ask you this question. If you're going to leave the cell phone behind at home, right? Why take the chance to shut the cell phone off if you're not bringing it with you? So this is telling me that they must have known she had a pacemaker. That's why they shut the phone off, right? Because if it's connected by Bluetooth, I guess they could probably see her movements through which door they went out of or something if they didn't shut it off. That's my question. I want to hear your thoughts below on that. So let's move on with the timeline. Nancy was expected to attend church. We went over this yesterday in our earlier video, and this is what prompted the church, her friends at church, because she always attended church. And when she didn't show up, this is what prompted them to check on her. So they discovered signs of a disturbance at her home, including a trail of blood, which we'll show some photos of that in just a moment, leading from the front door entry to the driveway. DNA testing later confirmed the blood belonged to Nancy. So that has been confirmed, that the blood found by the front door belongs to Nancy. So the Pima County Sheriff's Office was notified, and Nancy was reported missing. Initial searches of the home revealed no forced entry through the main doors, but the blood trail suggested foul play. So the sheriff, Chris Nano, stated that the scene appeared consistent with an abduction, though details were limited to protect their investigation. Also, no immediate suspects were identified. Now, there has been rumors that the brother-in-law was a main suspect, but that is just rumors right now. The FBI was involved early due to potential interstate nature of the case and high-profile family connections. So on February 3rd, the search intensified this day. So with local and federal resources, flyers were put out, public appeal was made for information. Savannah, Nancy's daughter, from New York, right? She lives in New York. She addressed the disappearance on social media and her show asking for tips. She also canceled her, I think she was going to Milan for the Olympics. She canceled that as well. So reports emerged of a ransom note now at this time sent to 2 local media outlets, including the KOLD TV, right, in Tucson. And the note included specific details about what suggested insider knowledge, such as references to a floodlight at Nancy's home and an Apple Watch she owned. So the anchor, Mary Coleman from KOLD TV, stated in an interview that after reading the note, it appeared it might not be a hoax due to these details. So the note demanded money in Bitcoin with a deadline set for Thursday, February 6th, which is today. And that deadline has passed, you guys, as of now, February 6th, right at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. It has passed. And a secondary deadline, right, for Monday, February 10th, I've heard as well, if the first one is not met. However, authorities began investigating the notes, see if it's authentic. FBI special agent in charge, Heath Janke in Phoenix, confirmed awareness that the note, but urged caution, noting it was sent to multiple media outlets, which raised suspicions, right? And somebody that is like wanting an opportunity to claim the Bitcoin. So, and take advantage of the situation. So regarding searches of the family properties, first off here, let me see if I want to pull up something real quick for you. What do you think about, why on earth would somebody do this? You know, I just don't understand. All right. So this is the blood that was on the porch, and there's some more too, but I'm just going to show this part of it. So blood on the porch, and I want to get into, give me 1 second, I want to pull this up for you. Let's see here. So however, you know, who could have, you know, who could have done this? And then we know who they just arrested for the fake, you know, the fake ransom. And I'm going to pull that up for you as well. Let's go over here, remove this here. And I appreciate all of you for being with me today. I'm bringing you the most recent information, updated as of now. So let's go here. This is the guy that was just arrested here. And he's out of California, right? Oops, let me remove this video. And his name is Derek Calella, I believe is how you pronounce it, or Calella, has been arrested for sending what authorities believe to be a fake ransom in demand of the suspect of Arizona kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie. So I'm not going to really go into too much of this, but he has been arrested for the fake ransom note. So, and they definitely know it's fake. So, however, authorities began investigating the note, and they urged caution. They said it was fake. But regarding the family property now, we're going to go into this. 1 second. We remove him. Now, there's been information that the family property was searched, talking about Annie and her husband. And we're going to show some photos of that. Let's see here. And you know, and there was those strange, the pictures of them in the vehicle. Let's go here. Them driving away, which was so strange, guys. So strange. So I'm going to blow these up for you a little bit. Like, what's up with these photos, right? Like, we looked at them yesterday. I just thought it was the weirdest thing ever. Okay, so that's Annie, and that's her husband. And he, I heard, is from Italy as well. So Annie, you have Savannah and Nancy, right? All three of them. Okay, and then this was posted, right? Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie and her brother and her husband, so the brother-in-law, kept a low profile in first sight since mom Nancy's disappearance. So this was after her disappearance. these photos were taken, if anybody's wanting to know. I just still think it's so stinking weird that they are hiding their faces like that. Maybe they just didn't want to be on media or something. Who knows? So, okay. All right, let's move on. So, regarding the searches of the family property, so it's unconfirmed reports from Ashleigh Banfield. She says she has a, someone that reaches out to her, an informative, and they're usually spot on, basically, right? But I'm just going to say unconfirmed as of now. The police hasn't stated that it's confirmed. I'm just going to say that. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on it. Citing source close to the police, right? So someone that's close to the police has given information to Ashleigh Banfield. So they claim that Annie Guthrie's vehicle was seized by the FBI as a part of the investigation, which I can actually see that. I can. Because they were the last people to be with their mom that night. Do we know for a fact that mom even got home that night? That's a question for you. Do we know that Nancy got home that night after dinner? Just curious. Now we know the garage door went up and stuff, but so could they tell that she was home because her heart monitor connected to, or excuse me, her pacemaker connected to her phone app? Anyways, this fueled speculation, right, about Annie's husband, Tommaso Cioni. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Savannah's brother-in-law. Was a prime suspect. Online discussions, including on Reddit, it echoed these claims, suggesting police were seizing vehicles from potential suspects. But official statements contradicted. The sheriff Nanos refuted the claim that Annie's car was seized, stating it was not part of the investigation. Instead, Nancy's own vehicle, which was at her home, was seized as a routine scene processing, since she had not driven it that night. So no searches of Annie's property were officially confirmed. Well, though routine checks of family members' homes and vehicles are standard in missing persons cases. So, it's the riddles that they give you, right? The police. So authorities emphasized that no family members were ruled out, but also stated no person of interest has been identified. So I want to hear your thoughts below on that information. Also, Tuesday, February 4th, more ransom notes surfaced, like TMZ received one demanding millions in crypto. So with a threat of verified Bitcoin address, and then it goes on, sets a deadline of 5 p.m. that day. Similar notes were sent to other national outlets. So it goes on to say Savannah Guthrie, along with siblings Annie and Cameron, made an emotional plea on Instagram asking for anybody with information to come forward. Savannah, she said she appealed to potential abductors for proof of life before any negotiations, right? They want to know if mom is alive, you guys. What do you think? Do you think mom is alive? It's so many days have passed now and she doesn't have her medication. Okay, moving on. So we know that as of today, right, as of this morning, the first ransom deadline passed without contact or proof of life. A press conference recapped the timeline as of yesterday, and they emphasized on the camera's disconnections and pacemaker app data. The FBI reiterated that multiple ransom notes are under review, but at least one led to an arrest for being fake, and we just showed that information. So no verified contact from actual abductors have been confirmed as of now. Regarding Annie's property, so I'm just going to go over that again. Despite rumors, no official search warrant for Annie's home or vehicle has been announced. The sheriff's department stated that routine inquiries were made with family members, but no seizures occurred beyond Nancy's vehicle. So the investigation still remains active with drones, canines, ground searches, and we did show a flight logged yesterday briefly on the video. This timeline, that I just covered, it covers pretty much everything that has been said as of now. Now I want to bring you over to the newest information regarding Nancy's son. And I appreciate you for sticking with me today. If you could, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to become a member of the channel and get new videos before they're published, I will put the link below in the description. So let's get started with this video. This is Nancy's.
And overnight, Nancy Guthrie's son released another video statement pleading for her safe return. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the new details into the investigation.
This morning, the search for Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother now enters day 6. Her family releasing a new video overnight asking for proof their mom is alive.
We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact.
The FBI says it's taking seriously a possible ransom note sent to multiple news organizations containing descriptions, including Nancy Guthrie's Apple Watch and potential damage to her home. The note demanded Bitcoin as payment and set a deadline for last night, which is now passed. Another deadline for Monday if the demands were not met. Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home on Sunday morning, and now authorities are releasing the most detailed timeline of events. They say Nancy Guthrie had dinner and a game night Saturday evening at her daughter Annie's house nearby. Family members brought her home just before 10 o'clock Saturday evening. 4 hours later, at 1:47 a.m., her doorbell camera was disconnected. At 2:12 a.m., a Nest camera detected a possible intruder, but Guthrie apparently was not paying for a subscription to save the video. At 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker stopped communicating with her iPhone, which was left inside the home. At the front door, drops of blood were found.
Blood on the porch, that was one we did. It came back to Nancy.
The FBI, with a direct appeal to her alleged kidnappers, say Nancy needs her medication every day to survive.
To anyone that may be involved, do the right thing. This is an 84-year-old grandma that needs vital medication for her well-being.
The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for her safe return or the capture of the kidnapper. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Okay, guys, I want to leave you with some questions that I have, and I want you to post your answers below. This is the first question. Is Nancy still alive? Authorities are operating under the assumption that she currently is, despite the 48-hour window of missing critical daily medication. This is a major question I have. So could if Nancy had someone like a healthcare person that would come over to her home, could they have backup medication? Were all her pills counted in the box or in the bottle? Were all the pills counted in the bottle? That's a question I have. Also, we were never told that. We were never told if all the pills were counted to the correct date, or if there was an in-home healthcare person that took care of her, right? Also, who is involved, right? The Pima County Sheriff believes she was taken against her will, as we can tell by the blood droplets on the ground and the camera's gone, right? And the camera did go off, but there was no video. So, you know what I mean? Like, who could be involved in this? What was the motive? The motive, right? Who would have the most to gain from this? So there's been the potential included the ransom of, ransom notes, robbery. I don't think robbery, right? There was nothing missing that they've told us, right? Her iPhone, everything was there, nothing, missing that we've heard of. So Or was this a targeted attack? I want to know, was there a will change? Did Nancy update her will and allegedly, right? Just suspicions I have. Did she update her will and someone in the family did not like what she updated it to? That's one of my curiosities I have. Also, allegedly, is family members, they don't want to take care of her anymore. She's 84 and it seemed like she, you know, just saying, you know, why was the reward so low in the beginning? $2,500, right? A lot of people are like, why is the reward so low? Was it a typo at first? I know it's $50,000 now, but $2,500 in the beginning, that's just crazy, right? Also, the ransom notes real. So the one ransom note, they arrested the guy for that. What was found at the scene? So this, you know, reports indicated there was blood on the front doorsteps, and they have confirmed that is belonging to Nancy. Some have said that the blood could have came from, maybe they cut out her pacemaker. I don't know if that's possible. I heard it's just right under the skin. I don't know if that's possible, if somebody could live after you cut out a pacemaker, or did she fall, perhaps? That's where the blood came from. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Where could the blood around the front door, if it's definitely her, so where did it come from, right? Also, did anybody, for instance, like, did she, when she, you know, who did she talk to in the past few days? Did she upset somebody? Did her family upset somebody prior to her disappearance? Just questions I have. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you and your thoughts and opinions here. And like I said before, it's been 6 days now, and almost 6 days, and still no signs of Nancy. I appreciate you watching Daphne's Detectives. I'm going to put the most recent video from yesterday if you want to go over that. And that shows like the flight log and some other information regarding the case. I'm also going to put the Daphne's Detention playlist in the right-hand corner for you, so you can go through our list of missing persons cases. I appreciate you for watching and have a wonderful day.